MPC and the presentation to agency will take over. It just looks like upper level key managers of the department. The agency will take over the CFO. Then we say something about the board. Then we continue because all the time I landed the couple of you know, the agency, the CFO, everything go. So I use the use of but don't get deep on other members to directories. And that's what that's good programs. I'm heading over to the Honorable NSC SG as a final lady. Yes, that's only true.
Thank you very much for this invitation, and we positively also welcome the positive comments about the team and the support given to the delegation to Netherlands, and the feedback that we are still to receive. Surely we are going to consider areas of our interest so that we may follow up on certain issues. Chairperson, we have consulted, the department is quite aware of the budget that we received. We received our own letter of allocation from Treasury, and we allocated accordingly to the programs that we are here to confirm that we believe this kind of allocation will still further drive the department and the programs in the province of the Eastern Cape. But we can also hasten to indicate, Chair, that we are only 14 years to dedicate. It therefore means time is not on our side to make a change in this province. Therefore, urgency is paramount. We have also noted that there is countries downgrade, and we need to give signal to the people of the province of which best direction is supposed to take. I like the idea that when people are producing their own food, they're in a position to work off any vulnerability. As long as we can go back organic, plant our own food, eat from our own gardens, that is a guarantee of sustained life that we can still live without creating a stare, because nowhere we go. Of course, we are also united in our action to move this project forward, as the theme of the year of our government is indicating. Chairperson, I will just go through, but we also want to achieve real change, quality change when it comes to rural industrialization. We want to see rural areas producing jobs, quality, developing new enterprises, new agribusinesses and agripreneurs, so that the university graduates, the college cadets are in a position of not being job seekers, but create jobs for themselves. And I think this is the endeavor that we are going to venture into, especially this year. We dedicated the policy speech of 2017-18 to young people of the province of the Eastern Cape for a reason, because that's the area the honorable members to be fired up wherever you are, whether you address churches, young people must take the center stage leadership. Of course, we have touched the issues of radical economic transformation and agricultural economic transformation. This is what we are going to support this budget to. We've also noted the issues of drought, that the rains came pretty late, and we are now facing winter again, and there are areas that will not really regain their own agricultural potential because of what we've been experiencing over time. The issue of support land reform programs, to expand all food security programs, as you will see the allocation in terms of expansion of grain, expansion of exports, commercialization of livestock, and our coordination of rural development, especially strengthening agro-processing. It's something else to have better yields and tonnage, but if you can't process and look at those jobs want to create, you must just forget about that. That's where jobs are being realized. So grow sustainable enterprises, expand irrigation schemes, youth in agriculture and entrepreneurial development programs. We are saying these things, Chair, because there's an overarching policy imperative that we need to meet as the department through the stewardship of this committee to promote sustainable agriculture, to what we believe is an agriculture policy action plan. That is informed by our national development plans and MTSF as well as the provincial development plan. We have land at our disposal to share the progress. That we cannot deny. What we have seen in other countries, we do have it here in plenty. Support 10,000 smallholders as part of the national target of 80,000. We have to come back again to account of how many we have managed to create in the province of the Eastern Cape, smallholder farmers in particular. 10,000 jobs as part of the national target of 1 million by 2030. I'm saying only 40 years to go. At a provincial level, increase of agricultural contribution to the GDP by more than 2%. This is what we'd like to see. You can't have a province that is still performing below that kind of a level. So the moment we are doing these things, we can realize a better contribution to the GDP. But how then are we going to achieve our strategy, especially transformation? Without partnerships, without increasing production share, without market access, without capacity building, job creation, and developing smallholder and communal farmers into active entrepreneurs, our strategy will be forced and fledged. That's why your comment when it comes to what we are doing in these red hubs is developing capacities in rural areas to agro-process the produce, to develop markets for the produce to be in a position of being marketed, to improve prices and to ensure that workers are also contracted to do exactly that. And I think we are going to realize those things as we are now moving towards the Chabu to do exactly the same. We need all 24 villages constituting this area here. We have so that we process meat and other legumes that we can have so that on issues of drought, Chairperson, Dr. drought intervention strategy, I can tell you it has worked over the past year. And I think this is what we intend to do going forward with an amount of 10.2 million budget. Provision of livestock water shortage, finalization of drilling equipment, of 99 boreholes. This is quite unprecedented, as far as I know, since 2014. We have never ventured into such a big scale to ensure that we draw water beneath the soil so that the fountains are there, animals can be having drinking water and be sustained. Even no farming have been reduced dramatically in the past few months. It's an indication that we are working in collaboration and in partnership with our farmers, and they are hitting our call for stock management and stock numbers. And effective early warning system, I think this year, SG, we may also visit that early warning system center for purposes of opening it, because we need to monitor climatic changes and so forth. Establishment of water bench, we committed last year that we want to see this province leading in the border development for from other provinces. We develop that internally with the province. We feed our own animal stock that we know with the quality of either leucine and so forth. So we want to develop that capacity internally with the target contribution of 15,000 by farmers themselves. Farmers to be provided Chairperson with haymaking equipment as well as farm education. They can That is the amount, I think, from 2,000 to 47,000, sent indication that there is possibility of increasing land under production in that particular area. Support for agro-processing, as you've already indicated, Kanguli is up and running. Mochai, Malafen, and Bizana, we are now expanding to the 5th site this year. The maize products are marketed through sales and merchandising, agency agreement with iSpaza, and retail stores like Nix, Food Super, and others. A new red hub will be established at Chapel. I think it's with an amount which is a seed funding of 14.5 million, which will be increasing over a period of 2 outer years to complete that project, I believe. Also indicated what already we have managed to put in place. You can see here the 2,000-ton maize silos constructed already in North Hub, and the maize milling operation which is currently underway. That's why you see a packaged meat already. Also, because we are quite strong, Chairperson, I'm informed by the statisticians that we have surpassed the Congo when it comes to citrus production in the province of the Eastern Cape, and we are leading in the country when it comes to this. Eastern Cape currently, export revenue increased. I think revenue increased 7-fold more than the national increase over the past 5 years. This is because of a properly well-considered investment in that sector, increasing the potential of the province. The current 17,592 hectares under citrus employs 21,028 workers. Partnership with Citrus Growing Development Company and Citrus Growers Association will increase production capacity of 36 smallholder producers in 2017-18 by 1,070 hectares at Mushwakat River, Patensi, and Sunday River. We decided to invest 9 million on Chairperson, which will increase production capacity from 1,055,000, I believe, to 1,089,980,000, and increase employment by 696 jobs opportunities. We visited Ripple Chair last year, and we committed to deliver state-of-the-art pack shed in that area. I can confirm that the pack shed in Moshwa, servicing local producers to export directly and explore future market expansion at the cost of 22.4 million, will be completed this financial year. You will be there to see for yourself a new state-of-the-art pack shed in the area of Refinate and Moshwa local municipality. And however, the poor state of roads is something that I believe is having a negative economic impact on the citrus industry in that area, something that we are going to negotiate with that local municipality to attend. And we decided to show you some of what we are currently running, the packing citrus fruit in Sunday River currently, and they are already in the export platform. Sebetumela, Mars of the Europe, Asia, and so forth. On deciduous fruit, apple and pear. The deciduous fruit industry in the province share has remained largely static. Yes, there's a problem. But the industry partners, deciduous fruit development chamber and agro, will provide support, financial support, marketing and technical support. 13 black farmers will be supported for a new agri production in the areas of Kuben. I think when we launch this project, possibly this year, we will also go there to witness how we can do and tell the area like Kuben. And we decided to partner to support by funding. As you can see, Jobs Fund provided 6.9 million, and we are there with our 7.4 million, which is coming from our department. Our hope and trust is that it will turn that situation and that community around so that we are also in that particular platform. On macadamia, something I believe you all know, in 2017-18, the expansion of macadamia orchards will be supported on our Chairperson, 10.7 million to plant additional 280 hectares at 2 sites at Matole, which is Neha 120 and Amajim 160. I think we are all there to launch Amajim 1, and we have seen the potential. 100 people were already employed once we were on site. And I think DRDAR is engaging Land Bank for core funding arrangements. You can see the citrus, the orchards, which was the first harvest and so on. On pineapple production share, we've decided also to allocate 1 million. You can see we will create 188 jobs and expand production capacity by 2,508 tons contracted to market to Summerpride, which is already buying the produce already. And I think by so doing, that partnership with Industry Association, Pineapple Growers Association will expand the area under production from 198 to 230 hectares. We are quite pleased with the quality, the taste, and how the size of those pineapple they can do. I think also in the areas of vineyard, they are doing quite well when it comes to that. On chicory, we can confirm that we also decided to support putting 1 million additional to ensure that 12 black smallholder producers will be supported to plant 180 hectares in Gambia, creating 900 jobs and increasing production capacity by 3,240 tons. This is what we think chicory, with our agreement signed with Nestle South Africa, Department of Economic Affairs, to buy that kind of produce. And on livestock red meat, Chairperson, we set aside 41.8 million for on-farm infrastructure upgrades. Of course, nothing can achieve without fencing, stormwater provision, dipping facilities, and loading ramps, and targeting smallholder farmers also, and clustered communal farmers to enable them to sell their animals to Nguni Trust for genetic material, Berlin beef, Credo Abattoir, for syndicate program, abattoirs, livestock marketing agents, and local people. This is where we want to see our black people becoming much more serious players in this particular sector. If we can't, the traceability that is required, the movement of animals, fattening of them, ensuring they are also part of the red meat value chain. We decided to show, if you can see in the next page, the results of 60 days of custom feeding, because people are asking, what is custom feeding? We are saying, no but whom you believe can still make you to be having some bit of income. Take that cow of yours or a bull of yours, which is owed to the custom feed to get proper nutrients. In a split of 60 days, you can see that before, don't families selling from custom feeding, and this custom feeding can also link with those who want to buy and so on. And you can see after 60 days, as you can see it, if it was about 5,000, you can sell it at 9,000, 10,000, meaning that you can be a valuable farmer in a communal setting. That's a strategy that we seek to employ. Because of the drought, the change of season, it's better when we advise our people. This custom feed must be properly managed. Our young people that have graduated from this university must go back home to establish these kinds of centers. People are paying for animals, and I think if they can be new young people running these particular enterprises, things can change in the province of the Eastern Cape. So Eastern Cape is the largest wool producer. 30% of the national wool export is from this province. Increase the unit value. That's what we are working on. Farmer income from 12 rand per kg to 36 rand per kg. But you can't simply achieve that by wisdom. You need to do it. Hence, we are investing that much in terms of wool production, livestock improvement program, exchange of rams, and all of that, so that the wool clip is better improved as well. Because that's where money is happening. Farmer, we share committees so that they understand exactly if avoid speculators, we are packaged out there, we are where you are getting right, so that our black farmers, as you can see, 23.8 million to support wool producers on provision of 19 sharing sheds, training and mentoring and marketing. That's the key strategy in this particular sector. And I think the partnership that we have with National Wool Growers Association, referred here as NWGA, to construct 19 new sharing sheds with dipping and handling facilities in support of 19 wool clusters benefiting 240 wool producers, 5 unemployed graduates, creating 144 jobs opportunities. This is our strategy when it comes to that situation. But without agricultural infrastructure, Chairperson, we are nothing. We can talk about all of these things. We thought we need to invest in the issue of fencing. This province is supposed to be networked by fencing, either grazing and pastures, fields, so that we protect our own produce, we protect our own animals, we manage our own health and grasslands and so on. 293-kilometer fencing in all districts. I think this is what has to be realized. one dairy parlor in Sarabatman. I think it has costed us close to 32 or 33 million. As far as I know, I was there for sort trading. We're expecting to open a new milk parlor in that particular area. I think it's a Bush, if I'm right. Like I used to see when 1970 something. Kuba kuzokwenziwa ifama zabantu abamhlophe baziswa kwii-areas zokukhayikama besuswa kulaa mihlaba mihle isetsitikama babuyele kwiindawo zabo kuyasengwa bebengenayo iphala erayithi siyabakhela ke ngosemrhulumente wabo oseziqondweni. One dipping tank, 3 fish tunnels, there's no deer, 23 animal fund, as you can read it, but also the revival irrigation schemes is quite important because these are the issues where we need to consolidate our own coordination to improve production in those particular areas. 4 multi-purpose sheds, 2 orchard establishments, and summarizing this, you can see the kind of equipment, the kind of infrastructure we're speaking about. These are completed operational spaces, as you can see them, and animal handling facilities in Jordan, constructed in support of livestock production by smallholder farmers. So in your endeavors to go and oversight and see these facilities, you are at liberty also to go and see the quality, the state of them as they are. Aquaculture, you've made reference, Chairperson, to this, and I can confirm that I attended in the last 2 days a marine conference hosted in Eastern Cape for Africa as a continent. I was quite amazed with what African countries are doing. 31 countries in Africa are in the area of aquaculture and marine issues. Many of the countries are successful because they've taken this particular sector seriously. And I was also informed that Djibouti can't even buy a ship, but Djibouti decided just to be a service for ships. Those countries that can have, they can service for them because they cannot buy because of the poor state of that country. And Ethiopia as a country doesn't have an ocean, but it's only a number of ships in the country. South Africa, we've got only 4 registered ones, including 1 that is for training of young cadets. So these are the things that young people with our 800-kilometer array of coastline in the province, we have to turn around that to be a food basket for the province. So we decided to put aside 9 million, Honorable Chairperson, 8.3 million for cow catch, and 7 million, 0.7 million for Mtata Dam to expand the production units and complete the rehabilitation of Mtata Dam hatchery. I think we decided to attend the issue of fish ponds in Mtata Dam so that we revitalize. It used to do that in the past, and we are doing exactly that. The expansion increases production capacity by 792 tons of fish per year, with a gross value of 42 million and creating an additional 210 jobs. This is what we intend to see. On the issue of veterinary school faculty, University of Fort Hare, you'll recall that we are also here in this committee chair to solicit your support on this support. This must be the second province to have that kind of a veterinary institution located strategically in the University of Fort Hare. We've already met informally with the new Vice Chancellor, but I think we are preparing for a formal engagement session with the top management of the University of Fort Hare to take this process forward, because he too is fully in support of this, but want our own legislature to a house resolution if we can secure that we need this vet school during our lifetime. Otherwise, we can't have so many animals, but we don't have a vet school in the province. A province with lesser headcount of animals is having a vet school. So it's going to be a distortion of historical facts. We have to change this situation. So the shortage of available capacity has forced the province to turn to recruitment of veterinary doctors from foreign countries, highlighting the need of the Eastern Cape Veterinary Science faculty. We need it. DRDAR will explore this opportunity and, in collaboration with the University of Fort Hare, initiate a process for the establishment of the veterinary sciences faculty at the same institution. And DRDAR has set up a task team with the University of Fort Hare to develop a business plan for the establishment of a veterinary school. The target is to commence implementation by 2019. I know that University of Free State is lobbying so highly for this. Our sluggish movement in this thing, we may lose this position. Research, innovation, and development chair. We can't do anything in this sector without this front-end area being consolidated, strengthened, and resourced appropriately. 20 million has been allocated to support all commodities with research and technology development chair. We've observed in a few weeks ago the visit to this province by 6 countries of Africa for drought-resistant seed. I think those were pilot sites, and the results are showing that even if there is drought, we can still have seeds and people can still eat. That's an advantage of research technology that we have. 2017 marks 80th year since the beginning of Animal Research and Training Agricultural Development Institute, and marks 50th anniversary of South African Society of Animal Science, which is SASAS. I think we're going to host this conference in the province this year. That's another privilege that the province of the Eastern Cape is having. I've already indicated on the issues of irrigation schemes. We've allocated 22.4 million to revitalize Norfolk, Kamadas, Nyongwe, Kiskama, Port St. John's irrigation schemes, contributing close to 550 jobs. And you can see what is happening in the irrigated dairy production of Norfolk and the completed dairy facilities. This is what the aerial view can show, and the block of big sense of what the pilots can do in those particular sites. As I indicated that we are a youthful policy statement of this year, the youth agriculture intrapreneurial development is going to be the catalyst for change. We want young people to be geared, to be self-reliant, self-propelled, self-engineered, to take advantages of agriculture. They can't all queue in the lines of employment. They must also queue in the lines of entrepreneurship, because there are opportunities to do. People eat every day, but who is providing that is the question. Establishment of Wealth Center in Fort Cox this financial year will promote and train and establish 200 self-employed youth entrepreneurs for a period of a year with an initial investment of 5.8 million. We've also set aside 1.9 million for youth household food security program. Share you just indicated, people must go and till the land to produce from it. And we want to target young people to do those things by themselves. And we want also to ensure that the agricultural production and marketing to support 300 households, young people will be paid a stipend linked to performance. If you don't perform, you don't get anything, but if you perform, you are given a stipend. That's an incentive to ensure that young people are driven to understand that there is no reward for laziness, but there is reward for actual living. They must use their palm and hands in order to change the situation around. An annual enrollment of 560 students into Tsolo Agriculture and Rural Development Institute, Tardy and Fort Cox. This is the number that I believe we can confirm in both institutions. We do have these people that are there as we speak. And DRDAR will engage this cooperative for the construction of a planned fencing arable land in rural farming areas covering 167 kilometers in Amatole or Tambo Krisani, Afro Joga. Fencing thereby provides 838 jobs. You can see that if young people can take some of those jobs themselves, we give them stipends to do this kind of work, then they can still be a much more better position. The business rescue practitioner chair, when it comes to our dear estates, with the project steering committee, have engaged potential investors to invest in these estates. Investors have expressed an interest in Magwa and Majola, provided there is government commitment. But we were quite pleased to receive this 15 million, though it is falling short of the amount required. But there is further commitment after my meeting with the MEC Finance as well as the Premier of the province, so that we don't still opt for litigation push on this. But I think those details will be forthcoming after the next expo. Provision of basic services when it comes to rural development coordination chair, 2 million to continue with the provision of non-grid solar panels to 100 households and 30 biogas digesters at Dangerous Hook and Nomlengana villages in Joga district. I think when time permits the committee, you can also visit. We are doing this work in partnership with Investor Forte, especially in the areas of Joga and Dangerous Hook. 1.5 million allocated for water, for supply water care projects and spring protection. I think in the areas of KSD, and 3 improved ventilated latrine toilets and 3 schools benefiting 730 learners with a budget of $500,000. Because rural development is about all of those kinds of things that we are currently doing, working with our appropriate technology unit. On textile and clothing, 2 million we decided to set aside to support 50 clothing and textile projects in 6 districts. This will benefit 363 people, which mainly youth and women in Amatole, Afrin, Zokris, and Jokabi. You can see the figures, including Sarah Batman, and 1 million allocated to support project at Novo, Honorable Maltich, with infrastructure, equipment, training, and development. That is what rural industrial hub for manufacturing is going to be realized. On governance and administration leadership, I think the department will still continue to support 56 bursary holders from disadvantaged communities who are afforded opportunity to study specialized fields, and continuous improvement of the turnaround time for payment of service providers within 30 days. That's a commitment that we will receive our scorecard from Treasury, saying at least we manage 17 days as of now. In conclusion, Chair, this is what we want to propose, the repositioning the province from being a net consumer of food to be a prime producer and exporter of food and other commodities. Build agro-processing capacity. We want to see the alignment of Red Heart and agri-park concepts working together, enhancing and supporting agriculture production units, skills transfer, what is required, production, processing, value addition, and markets through these platforms that are created. Increase the provincial capacity to export because we are trading at $1 rate. So the exchange rate and the dollar versus the rand is advantageous currently in South Africa because they buy more than we can buy. So we sell to those platforms. If the volumes can increase, our farmers can be rich because those countries are buying in dollar exchange rate. So we also intend to produce customized support to young people in agriculture production, processing, and transformation. Sicela ibe indlela le emasingene ngayo ulutsha kwethu lukhuthazwe likwazi ukuvelisa, likwazi ukuprocessa, likwazi ukuya ezimakethini, likwazi ukuzibrenda izinto eziveliswayo ngokunokwazo, and leverage private sector investment through commercially viable partnership. That's the only route we believe is going to help the situation that we have. And implement targeted agricultural infrastructure to reduce the cost of doing business, and establish formal partnership with our national department to align resources to improve agricultural productivity on land reform funds. Chairperson, thank you very much.
Allow me to always speak because we know our oversight. So the funds I utilize in a cost-effective way. And it's are done just to say something and help someone in terms of the application. What's the
Actually, if you request her to comment, she can. It's not a problem. But normally, when we are considering the policy speech and budget allocation, there is no support from the CFO because the program will indicate allocations. But she's senior enough to, if she's invited. Yes.
You know,
So thank you so much, Honorable Chair, Honorable members, MEC, and my colleagues. My presentation just appears just immediately after the NBC one. Just had to take
we'll take down your sorry. Whatever you have concern, take it down.
Yeah. Now, when we come to the department, we recall that we did set our vision and mission, from the beginning, 2015. And this is what we are actually using from then up to 2019. However, on a yearly basis, we always double check when we go to strategic planning session, double check if the vision, is there any tweaking that is needed. But however, if you notice it here, we still maintain and retain both our vision and mission. So it's actually still sustaining the department. However, I must also stress it here that as we proceed, there are operational strategies that we develop throughout, on a daily basis. Those operational strategies are compliant to what the vision and the mission and the goals of the department. We simply can't afford to create an operational strategy that's going to fall outside the vision, mission, and the goals of the department. Now, go to the next page. You notice, therefore, that our strategic goals, they are still intact as well as governed by our vision and mission. So we still maintain strategic goals as we are proceeding. Maybe we'll change them after 2019 if there are anything changes. Very much. Now, below, honorable members, the chair and MDC, we now come to our budget overview. Now, if you look at this, it has been split into 3 columns. Column 1 is our economic classification. Column 2 is our budget in millions. And then column 3 is our budget as a percentage of the total. In other words, if now we go to the COE, compensation of employees, if we look at it, out of that 2.2 billion, which is our total, the COE is taking 54.7% of the total budget. Now, if we go now to our goods and services, now when we add the other COE, somewhere down the line, I will explain why we end up with 54.7%. Now, if you go to our goods and services, we notice there that out of that 2.2 billion, 20.7 goes back, followed by our transfers and subsidies, which goes to 16.7, and payment of capital assets, which is 7.8. Now, adding this 1, 2, 3, 4, they end up to 100%. In other words, if you add all these figures, they're going to reach to 2.205, 432. Now, the next slide, honorable chair and members of MEC, is to show where are these sources of funds that which are congested in this 2.205.42. Now, the source of funding, this slide has got 2 columns. Column 1 is source of funding, and column 2 the allocated budget. We've got number 1 as our equitable share. From our equitable share, we note therefore that we've got 1,876,218, which is now a contribution to our equitable share. Now, below are the conditional grants, where we see from CAS is giving us 248, Ilima 67, Land Care 11, and Public Works 2. But if you add all these sub-components of the conditional grant, the conditional grant in total is 329,214. Hence, therefore, putting these 2 figures together, 1,8 and 329, they add up to 2,205,432, which is the allocation that's given to the department. Having got the money, what are the plans? Below are the number of performance indicators that each program is supposed to discharge during this financial year, based on the funds that are allocated, I've just mentioned above. Program 1 has set a target, a total of 17. program 215, and it goes all the way, and the total for the whole department goes to 99. In other words, if we add all the contributions from each and every program, we end up with 99 for the whole department. The performance indicators, yes, correct. Now let's go now to the next page, which talks about the service delivery approach. I want to go back to what I said in my opening remarks. I said, we've got our strategic plan. We are having our strategic operations, and which we're going to make sure that they never go out of the strategic plan. Here now, we are saying our service delivery approach, as Honorable MEC has indicated in this presentation, is that we have our agriculture economic transformation strategy, which actually is the one which is going to be driving the service delivery starting from this financial year. Now, if you look at this strategy, it is broken into these pillars here, which is the broad pillars. We've got a cluster-based partnership group constituted by grain and livestock. The second one is a commodity-based group, partnership group, which is constituted by the high-value crop production. Next is our advisory council, and lastly, research and technology development transfer. There are blue words into brackets there, which are put into a bracket there. Partnerships and offtake agreements. Now, if we look at this strategy, it centers around this, that there should be a partnership. MEC, when he was talking, we heard him talking about Withhold and the others. Those are the partnerships that this strategy hinges around. Offtake agreements is also a critical ingredient of the strategy. Each and every moment, we have noticed that the farmers have got a nightmare when it comes to marketing their products. Now, this strategy now seeks to address that this marketing must be the thing of the past. How do we achieve that? We achieve by infuse offtake agreements in our operational this financial year. Now, there is a drought mitigation which affects the members. It must be included. You know, the drought that we had actually taught us so many lessons. The work that we were doing, drilling boreholes, for which MEC actually indicated that 99. Now we are proceeding to finalize all that work. We are actually, MEC talked also about the early warning. We definitely want to strengthen that early warning because we need to be in a position to predict that the pattern of the drought over the past 60 years, it goes this way. So we can predict the drought as we are able to predict the invaders like the locusts or the army worms. So we may as well be able to do that to predict other hazards that the nature provides. There is also the fodder bank, the one of the MEC talked about, which is linked to this drought. Now, this fodder bank, we are saying now our local farmers are to produce this fodder themselves so that we are able to procure or to secure the fodder from our local producers. Thereby, we are actually complying or adhering to the 30% that one of the premier indicated that we must actually pay attention to when we procure goods and services. The farmer education, honorable members, it becomes more critical, which we noted from the drought. People will stick to the animals, even if they are not productive animals. The animals that would be able to sell and offload, you know, the risk of overgrazing or the risk of starvation. But usually, our farmers will rather even keep those animals, not keeping productive animals. So that farmer education, we notice that is very, very critical, where farmers have to be educated in what type of stock should we keep when it comes to a disaster, which one must we try to get rid of, so that we can still make money out of those. Now, that actually is going to come from our programs, but from Ponzi's speech that appears on page 6, that 10.2 million that MPC was talking about. Now, if you go to the next slide, honorable members, I'm not going to read word by word here. But what I want us to do, I will only read one line as a show or a demonstration of how this agriculture economic transformation strategy is implemented. Now, if you look at this, I've got it here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns here. And column 1, it talks of a pillar, and column 2 is a commodity, and column 3 are activities, 4 is an impact, and the last column are the partners. Now, if you look at our pillar, we look at the cluster-based, which is still in my previous slide. You will notice there I had a cluster-based partnership where I qualified grain and livestock as constituents of the cluster-based partnership. Now here the commodity that I will start with here is grain. And if you look at it, the activities there, we are saying, as one of the MPC has indicated, 47,800,000 hectares is the target. That's one of the activities that have to be there. There are MOUs, service level agreements, off-take agreements that have to be signed, as I indicated that the strategy hinges around partnerships, off-take agreements. So that is part of the activities that we have to be doing for this strategy to be successful, or to make sure that our marketing takes place properly. Now, if you look at the impact, this is what one of the MPC was indicating. We've got 175, 200,000 tons that are anticipated at a value of 403 million. With a probability of 158 smallholders participation and 5603 clustered grain producers as a part of the will be there. Ultimately, the end state when it comes to job creation, 1,200 jobs are anticipated to come out of this. Now, as the last column here is our partners. If you look at our partners, one of the MPC did talk about withhold. Yes, our withhold will be there. Grain SA is another partner. Growth Force is another partner. Anglo-American, another partner. Anglo-Ashanti, district and local municipalities. So these are the partners that are going to be participating with us in this drive of pushing the agricultural economic transformation strategy in our grain clusters. Now, the same applies for the numbers. If you look at the livestock, it follows the same pattern. If you look at the wool, it follows the same pattern. The other pillar there, if you look at the commodity-based one, which now the owner of the MPC talked about the high-value crops, we had him talk about macadamia, pineapple, etc., etc. All of that, I will only isolate citrus here. If you look at it there, it says invest on 36 black smallholder citrus producers. And the increase is 1070 hectares, which one of the MPC actually mentioned. And what is the impact of all what we are talking about? We increase by 34,980 tons. That is what we are looking for. Hectares, and 1055000 tons. That is what the tonnage that we are looking at. And also the jobs that are projected will be 696 jobs. And our partners there, as MPC was indicating, we've got Grower Development Company of Citrus, Growers Association. Now, if you look also at also high value crops, the deciduous group, which one of the MPC talked about, those 19 deciduous producers he was talking about, they are here. Hard Grow as the partner, Deciduous Fruit Development Chamber as also another partner, which will be actually working with us here. Now, if we go now, I will go now to the other one pillar and move out of the high value crops pillar. And we go to the research and development. And where does the commodity that we're going to focus on? It says all commodities. As indicated to MPC, without the research, we might find ourselves wanting. So all what we have to do, we must make sure that there is sustainability on it, and we don't do something that's going to end. And if you look at the activities, we've got the research, and also the second one is technology development. You know, I don't want to overemphasize the committee's advice now and again on the technology development and transfer side, where the question has been, okay, you do run the research, but how does it reach the farmers? So I would like to overemphasize that. Hence, you see our technology development put over there. But I will just jump actually, if you look there, what is it? The improved production systems. Just as a demonstration here, you know, in the olden days, when you grow the potatoes, you had to leave 50 centimeters apart between the rows, and the 25 and the 20 centimeters within the row. But if you look now, the current production systems, you have 2 rows and a big gap, 2 rows close together and a big gap. Where did it come from? That actually came out from our research, which came out showing that if you're going to grow one row, you are actually underutilizing the land. However, if you're going to put 2 rows closer and allow your 25 centimeters, your 50 centimeters apart, and also the 2 rows, also 50 centimeters. In other words, you are kind of like doubling the idea just by simply manipulating the special arrangement of the plants in the hectare. So that is where those things that are coming from our research. Now, who are our partners there? Of course, Investor Forte is one of our big partners, followed by our ARC as well as our community associations. Now, what I'm going to do, honorable members, I'm not going to go, on with other pillars, because you see the pattern is more or less the same. So this is what I was saying, is just for me to show how the strategy is going to be implemented. Now, our next slide, if you could jump now to our rural development coordination. Honorable members, I am not, if you look at it here, is really a high-level slide, this one, with the understanding that the program itself, when it comes to present, is going to get into deeper details. But for me, I need to really indicate here that there is a streamlining of our coordination with our provincial IGR. That is one of the critical issues that we are, the Honorable MAC actually indicated. There is also the use of mass partisan and service delivery model, which actually the Premier brought out a couple of months ago, which is from what level up to from what level up to the up to provincial IGR. There is also, if you look at our forest, at our rural development, there's so much around forestry that has been said. So our entity is working very hard on the forestry part as part of our rural development enhancement. The ICT, in partnership with Selecta Municipal Solutions and SchoolNet SA, is also another program that our rural development will be actually making use of. The Honorable MAC did talk about the use of appropriate technology in enhancing our rural development, where there was an issue on water supply infrastructure, sanitation, renewable energy, clothing, and textile. Those will be detailed when the program is actually presented. There's also the MAC indicated on the support of the mini industrial hubs in the primary and secondary and tertiary sectors. Those will actually be detailed as well when program 8 is presented. Now, coming to another critical area, honorable members, we've got the issue on governance and administration, which we really cannot. Under that one, we've got the skills development. The Honorable MAC did indicate about the scarce skills address that we're actually pursuing, whereby we've got the students which we actually took to various universities, veterinary school, etc., where they are to start. Of course, we are still continuing supporting those students. We've got also our local, within on the job training work that we're actually doing. Our SMS members are busy, attending those programs on skilling. The internship on the members is also another that is actually assisting these unemployed graduates to actually come and actually get skilling and in a position to be employer. The other is the rewrite of the colleges, Fort Cox and Tag, followed by our farmer and farm workers skilling, which is actually the program that our program 7 is actually focusing on. As I indicated earlier on, the local economic development procurement strategy, which actually, the premier is actually really stressed this, that to actually look, the minimum of 10% must look to our internal provincial people. And if you look at our cropping and our mechanization, that one really focusing on our people in the province. We rarely take people from Limpopo to come and provide the plowing here. We use our local contractors to do the plowing. We use our local suppliers to provide us with our fertilizers, seed, herbicides, and insecticides. All of the MPs indicated that at least from the assessment that comes to our provincial treasury, that we are at average of 17 days turnaround for our settling of our invoices across our clinic. The other issues is that organizational development, when the service delivery model was completed and approved, and also our structure then to be approved by the end of 2017, which was actually an instruction that all departments must actually try to revisit our structure. The HR, human resource component, we've got our annual recruitment plan, which is based on attrition, as we do not have additional funds for recruitment. Now, just as an example, yesterday we were at the PCMT where we were presenting the 53 posts that have to be filled. And all those posts that we presented at the PCMT, those are the replacement posts. In other words, whenever there's an attrition, we put those posts together and go and present them to the PCMT, and then we can be able to fill those posts. Hence, now we are saying here, our reliance here is on the attrition, as we do not have the budget for recruitment. The recruitment is still partially centralized at OTP, where most of the advert, etc., is done by the OTP, and we get involved, physically get involved by taking the applications from the OTP, starting out doing the take methods from the OTP, we do the shortlisting, the interviews, we prepare the recommendations, they go all the way back to Treasury, etc. Now, the department, this is the sentence I said I was going to talk about, where I wanted to link this bullet, the last bullet. I want to link this last bullet to the slide number 1, 2, 3, 4. If you remember slide number 4, I indicated that our COE is at 54.7. That is our COE component out of that total budget of 2.2 billion. Now, we come now to this bullet now, the last bullet on slide number 12. This bullet says, Dr. DAR is a personnel-driven department and depends on attrition for recruitment, which might have a negative impact. Unlike other departments who might be relying on, electronics or high tech, the department, for it to achieve its targets or to be able to support the communities, it relies on the extension officers We need an army of extension officers. We need an army of animal health technicians. We need an army of veterinary of vets. We need an army of vet technologists. So that is why I am saying here, unlike maybe other departments, I don't know them, that might be relying maybe on IT for them to achieve their target. This department relies on human resources, on warm bodies for it to be able to its delivery. I'm aware that all of the members, whenever they go for their outreach, they always get the cry from communities that our extension officers are not visible. And we are having around close to 700 now, where we are far below the norms and standards set for effective extension services. So that is why I'm saying one of the members have got to link this bullet with that 54.7%, which I actually said is our COE component. Now, honorable members, I thank you so much. This is the end of our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, SG. Honorable members, say something. Just a careful to understand, no anticipation. What I got okay.
I'm nothing with you.
Say something, say say something. There's money. You can't find it. I'm so sorry. Because I'm worried, I'm voting. There is a lady at the back coming from parliamentary monitoring institution. You will know that it's a national project. Then the coverage. What do I hear? Say the presentation of the sitting committee is being covered. In the next month. And that tone is in we keep that tone. Please. Continue, CFO.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable members, Honorable MEC, HOD, colleagues. I will be very brief because I think most of the things have been touched on by both MEC and HOD, and detail will also come from the program manager. In my introduction, I mentioned that we have received 2.2 billion, of which 10 million is coming from our own revenue, and also 229 of that 2.2 billion is coming from conditional grants, which we are getting from our national department. Then the budget assumptions, we have followed the Treasury guidelines in formulating the budget, and also I wish to indicate that we have received 14.5 billion,
and we have the same understanding that we are just doing that we kept running through.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. So, all right. Okay. Thank you, Chairperson. If we look at slide number 5, where a table is shown, we are seeing a breakdown of the budget per program. And as usual, we see that program 3, which is farmer support, is getting a lion's share, followed by program 1, and then program 3. You will notice if you look at the bottom line, that is, I've made a comparison of what we were allocated last year and what we are getting this year. You will notice that there is a decline or a no growth at all if you look at the bottom, like it's 0% increase. I will tell you why. The first reason, you will recall that last year we received a once-off allocation for drought, the 95 million, which we are not getting this financial year. That is number one reason for the decline. And number two, we have also been affected. On page 3. I'm on page 3, but slide number 5. Oh,
It's page 5. Slide number 5.
The decline is caused by the once-off allocation of drought last year, which we are not getting this financial year. And also, there is also a decline on the funding that we received for agricultural improvement, which we received last year. Last year we received 50 million. This year we received 20. So it's a decline that is also resulting to us not seeing the growth in our budget. And we are also affected by 1% baseline reduction, and also a reduction in CAS by 20 million. As you can see that the amount we are getting is less than what we got last year. It has been reduced by 29.4 this financial year. So it will continue to be reduced across the MTF period. So that is why you are not seeing the growth. However, I wish to note that to report that we have received additional funding for Magwa. We have received 15 million from Magwa. We have also received 14.5 million, which will be channeled to the NDP, 14.5 for the Red Hub in Chabu. And we have also received this financial year 45 million in support of our economic transformation strategy. So it is not shown there, but we are receiving it. The reason for the non-changes is what I have just alluded to. So if you go to slide number 7 on page 4, it is also giving economic classification. Maybe let's go back to page 3. Because you will also notice that program 5 is declining by 37%. But 37%, sorry. What we have done there, because we felt one of the appropriate program to handle the transformation strategies program 3. So hence the infrastructure for livestock development and the animals and the animal production now has been moved as part of food security under program 3. So that is why there is a decline there. Then also the increase in program 6 is as a result of the money that we are receiving for NAMAC, and also the increase for the money that we are getting, for the additional money that we are getting for MAQUA and other stakeholders, commodities that will be accommodated there. So for economic classification on page 4, slide number 7, our goods and services are also showing a decline by 21%. I've mentioned that with the money we received last year, we are no longer getting. So it's affecting goods and services because that drought funding which we received last year was under goods and services. Hence, you see the decline. And also, in support of the agricultural transformation strategy, there will be funding that will be channeled to some of our private partners in order to achieve what we are trying to achieve, like combining what we have with what our partners are contributing so that we can cover more. And also the capital assets, we are also channeling some of the infrastructure. It will be done in partnership with our partners. There's also some money that is going to NAMAC as part of the partnership. So on page 5, there's a table, slide number 9. The table there is showing monies that are going out of our budget to the entities and institutions, private partners. It's the RDA is receiving 169, and also for their operations as well as the money that is ring-fenced from hubs. Necham Academia is receiving 10 million, Magwa 14.4 million, Majola 5.6 million. There will be money channeled to our National Agricultural Marketing Council as part of a partnership, 3.3. Fort Cox College is receiving 50 million. So other private company, commodity partners will receive 97.4. So if you want the detail of those, you will get it on the white book, page 425. Then grant allocation. That's what we are getting for this financial year. It's 262, and also land care. Land care, we are receiving 12 million and 1 million. Or 1780, so it's 248, sorry, this financial year, 67 for Litsima and 11 million for land care. EPWP, we are receiving 2 million. Sorry, there is an error. This is giving you the MTAF period allocation for 17-18, 18-19, and 19-20. The error is on the land care. Land care is not 67 million. There's an error there. So land care is 11 million. Lizima is 67 million. Like they adjusted. That's quite different. This is what we will be taking.
That's why we aim to protect. It's a maximum. That is honorable members. So long. There's a lot of slight actions. I think the department will reflect more on that because one of the actions, budget allocation to us suggest the department could not utilize the money that was located to them in the yesterday. Then in the year to come, there is a deduction. I would give you the opportunity. I will start from you, honorable members, honorable Tichana. I will write to you that honorable Zula, honorable Taiwa, the last one is yes, that way, that line, yes.
When we election, futhi kakuthetha ngezidikhrisi ngokugqiba benekhala loba ikhethe uthini mhlawumbi uphathisa akasetyenziswa ithethwa apha ngokolona kwenza nemali ii-politics zayo kuba kuza kwenza ntoni ndiyabawela nova ke ibhajethi ye-disaster because amaxesha amaninzi i-department ibingazazibanga ibhajethi futhi kazifikile iihagu zase-alfred zokuseleni. Ikhona le ndawo ithi kuzakwenziwa amanzi neebhoholes thina sifuna ugodukana zilonke iiprojekthi uba la manzi azakwenziwa walindile ngoba ke thina engqobo sekuthiwa kwathethwa ngathi uba amanzi awakho nawo umdla wento yoba ke izawukwenzeka phi le nto. Mhlawumbi umphathiswa asibhrife i-update yoba ke kuphi ke ngoku kwi-red hub yaseTshapo kwenzeka ntoni, seyikhona into eqaliweyo, uba ikaqala kuqalwa nini na, zonke ezo zinto ezo. Kukho le ndawo ithetha nge-youth, le information ifumaneka ngoba sinayo i-youth igcwele indawo yonke, nawe ude ke ngoku as honourable ungayazi uba mawudiferenshiyeyithe phi. Ibe khona information ethetha ngokuba there's training, there's stipend, all that stuff. Kodwa ungayazi uba ke ngoku uzawuba registerisha ukuba zifumane ezi zinto bancedakale nabo kuyo yonke le. Iyafuna umphathiswa into yaseNcasa ukuye ngamanyawo lakho amancinci uyoma phaa kuyigqithi, hayi akukuhlanga yadira. Iyafuneka siyithethe hayi akukuhlanga phaya. Kungabaluleka uba ingakhona into engenziwa noko ibe yinto ezawuthi ibukelele, ngoba xa usizawuba awukwazi ukubhiliva idea, ufuna ukuthi umphathiswa uyilandeleleke le nto noko yenzeka ngendlela efanelekileyo. Kukho le nto ithethwa apha ke kwesini yeenkomo zethu ezimigqibhuba zisezilalini. Mhlawumbi ke iyawutsho kwii-programs ne uba yenzeka njani, ukwazi ngencedisa ngayo sizindlela sonke because kwiilali zethu zikhona iinkomo kodwa ufumanisa uba azikho kwimeko entle. Nako ndime nje apho ndiyabulela
No, thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Let me welcome all these presentations. They seem to be sort of, talking to each other going forward. Because the MEC, for example, talk of, overarching policy imperatives. And as you are listening to this presentation, you must be able to see the link of those overarching policy imperatives. Forget that you will have those challenges of having some of the key, fundamentals of the department, having a budget that is reduced. For an example, if you talk about farmer support in my view is the sort of, core of what the department is supposed to be doing, going forward. So there are good signs of progress, I think we must say upfront. Particularly if you look also again on the DRDAR scorecard of 17 days, that encourages our emerging, people to be paid, within sort of days. So it's a work that I think we must sort of, appreciate going forward. But MEC, if for example at this level you talk of an increase of 2% sort of GDP, how do you intend to do that under this drought, under this economic situation? The worst part of it now is that we are having a junk sort of status, we should also sort of talk to that. But as the province, because it's also a good sign of us wanting to progress. But under these conditions, how do we intend doing that? also again in the land form program and some other programs that you spoke about. For example, if you talk of us passing Limpopo in as far as citrus production is concerned, that's also a good sign of our province, because that's the other citrus belt that also profile us going forward. But you must also help me in there, because last year or that year some of our citrus had this black spot. What is the situation now? Are there any efforts, endeavors to make sure that whatever we produce now, we are able to keep such a spot, because it actually, killed our some of those things. On the expansion of agricultural production, I'm happy that you've got also our own black farmers that are a part of that production, because honorable members, if we talk of an extensive transformation in the agriculture, it can be sort of correct of us continuing to support these farmers that are there, the commercial farmers that are there, where most of our black farmers are not in the same sort of trend in as far as them coming out. So I'm saying at that level of deciduous production, at least there's money that is set aside. That are not viable, can they be able to stand up, and be able to hold up on some of those matters? Agricultural infrastructure, chairperson, I don't see DCM honorable. I don't see DCM. All the regions and all the districts that are there. It's not there, and we still need good infrastructure. So please talk to that. And about me on the youth agricultural independent development. That's good, NEC. That's good for our youth. Most of them are unemployed. There's too much that would help us. The last one now, Chair. on the age of the presentation, no, Matwell is not busy. Okay, honest, Vanessa, so you're there, no, fine, I'm listening. I'm listening. You develop operational strategies. And those operational strategies, they must actually complement your vision and mission. Last year, there were hearings, chairperson of DRDAR in the province from national. And when we listen to those hearings, you could see that national at that level, treasurer and some of those people, they want to focus in the province more on agriculture, and they talk of actually putting more budget, particularly for rural coordination and all that stuff. In such instances where you are able now to no more look at agriculture alone, but you focus more on rural development, which is part of a new phenomenon which was not there. What do you do in terms of developing your strategy going for? Fine, the mission and vision cannot change, but now I'm saying if you are given a budget that would talk to more rural development, what would happen to your operational strategies going forward? Would you do something in making sure that you also address that? Yeah, let me stop there. Let me stop there for others, because I would also talk your strategy plan versus your strategy operation. How do you link that with what you are saying in terms of your vision and mission and going forward? And lastly, what informs these clusters? Because you talk of service delivery approach, and then you talk of clusters. For example, you talk of a cluster of grain and livestock, and to me, what informs such a cluster? Is there anything that is scientific out of that, or you are doing it because you want to make sure that you scale down on the number of kind of approach or methodology that you use in making sure that your work become very simplified going forward? Because it's that.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I'm handing over to Honorable Zubona.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mine's going to start with I think the main overarching. I think that is very important that those jobs should. I think in the second one you said sustainable, because I thought maybe. But in essence, you didn't put that one in securing the jobs, because I see all the jobs that you've got jobs that some are sustainable, some are sustainable. Therefore, that 100,000 just break down to which ones are when we talk of the I was like thinking, is it the plan for the department to only a year? And if you look at them, get to be used for consultants and other things that amount that you put in there. Then we put a story of this amount and we upload looking at the amount of money, but the end result, how much that any strategy that the government must focus on the red tape or whatever gets to reduce the actual cost to that has been set to. I'm thinking, do we get the actual returns on the investment that we put in there? Are we happy with how much money we have in there? We only have all these projects that we put in, which is put like in slide, I think it's slide 9 that we mentioned a lot of projects that get to be done. And now I'm like thinking are these projects, sustainable projects that, because in the end of every project that we put in with this money and they fail. We've got a lot of projects that are lying there in all my city, but that are not that can we be able to say we put that money there, we've got the mentoring, we've got the means to make sure that that project becomes sustainable. We don't just throw money to the department for the sake of saying we've allocated the budget, the money is gone, it's out of our hands. But how do we then monitor that to ensure that it actually becomes a sustainable project? Because we really have a lot of, like this example of color, it's things that lie there without being functional because there was no monitoring. We just put in money and we don't follow the money out. Like in slide 9, I wanted to know, you made mention of kilometers of fencing. I was whether is this, that means the whole Eastern Cape there's going to be this 239 that's going to be first, or in each district there's 239, 239 in each district, because it says in all districts. Now I was like, the accuracy exactly 239, exactly 239. Is there any variety per regions? Because I was like concerned of this 239, the accuracy of it, in terms of ensuring that, or was it a standard one to say let's allocate 239, whether a person there's a need of 500 kilometers to be done in that region, but we allocate 239 exactly that one. Therefore, I wanted to check that. And I also wanted to check these projects that you've got in slide 9, NBC. Need of an army relative to the what we put in place as an actual. Are we really this army of veterans and technicians? Because I think, remember one time we keep on saying there's a lack of this one. Are we going to have this same year, everyone seeing the same need? We identify because we see it, but we don't put in place the right things. Like uploading, is this program affecting the cattle? But I'm reminded from that was said that there are rules or there are certain cows that are allocated to certain districts. I think I still remember that. I even question whether is it the amount of cows that gets set to be put in the rural areas in OR relative to the need that is there. But I'm like trying to look at is that program still on or is that program is stopped now, because I think the funding of cattle is different from that one, whereby you were giving a certain rural area, a certain whether it's a cow or pet, to to actually ensure that they influence the stock in that area. I'm not sure that that's right. I'm also thinking of the project of tree plantation. I was thinking about probably that one also should be falling within this department. Maybe I was looking at the project. Maybe you do have projects that talk to that in with that urban, with that land. Rehabilitation. Is the skill get transferred? If we continue to say fine, these are the partners that we can, because that's the only partners that are there owned, but they are the only partners that are for the skill. But how do we then ensure that the skills, do we not only put in money with a disclaimer to say you also have the responsibility to ensure that you put in, whether it's through intents, so that whenever we put money in, we know we are going to get a return, so that we can have intents that get attached to the money that we give to a person that relatively doesn't qualify for the vehicle. And also let people, last one, I'm shorting this one. Now the issue of CFO, the Magua funding, CFO, I think this one needs to also be. The last one, he says that there is a channeling of capital assets to be done through our partners. I think this channeling of capital assets needs to be looked at. Whether is there any way of empowering the department to be able to ensure that we only put all the millions through the capital assets, channeling through the capital assets. Thank you very much, Chair. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Honorable Taiwa, I want to believe, Honorable members, won't too much time investing in the program. Lot of questions, you know, they've been covered irresponsibly. Yes, Honorable Taiwa.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Mine is to Honorable NDC. The question we have here. Anyone who visited planning that was mentioned. One, abantu asilimelayo alimela abantu. Abantu bafumana izithetha zokuthi bawenze kakuhle umsebenzi wabo. Izawuyimosha iprojekthi kaMC inje ithembisa into yokuba izoqesha abantu abaninzi ezindaweni zethu. Ithembisa into yokuba izawuguqula indawo zethu endlaleni. Kodwa xa beqhuba ngolu hlobo, the value of maize we are to get apha kulamasimi asiyiyo, ayithethi le nto. Therefore, for what is the beginning of what the for iplanta lihamba nje ingena fertilize kwimbewu kuphela ngaphakathi. Into leyo evenze isithombo esiyamathekayo esingakhulu kule ndawo. Ulinganisela kakhulu le nto abantu bakhe baboniswe. Yena lena ikhuthazo kwabantwana kushwana akukho misebenzi emakhaya, abantwana bethu abasebenzi bahlala kwesokini ngayona nto izokwenza bathathe bavele endaweni.
Yes, Shakti.
Thank you, Chair. Chair was, this one was for HOD. HOD, you don't think that it would be more helpful for the portfolio committee if when you say you are going to develop, for instance, in a rural area, to identify, give it to us where you are going to develop, so that we as a committee can oversight that thing. We can go and have a look at it to see that it's exactly what you said and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that it must not be vague that it will be, we're going to do this in rural areas, and yet we don't know where. The other one, MEC, which is a good one, the one of the cattle, the feeding. It's a fantastic program there. Would you not be able to get to a point where these cattle are taken to the abattoirs and instead of being sold where they're going to go to Pick and Pay and other places and come back to our consumers at a price that's so high? Whereas if they were sold and the butcheries were local, they were encouraged to have local butcheries so that the local people would be able to buy the same meat at a cheaper price in a local area. Because as we are now, you take all this, 50% of that cow goes with your inside, and 50% is sold. The markup is so high there. This is why red meat has become so expensive. Where if there were local butcheries, it's sold there, slaughtered, and the people can buy locally, then they would actually benefit from that. And even those who actually sell their cows, they would benefit because then your transport costs, etc., would be cut down. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. That is that comments, smaller comments. Not from the any facts. You know, it was that it's true what has been said by them. What are those? Now I'm worried about that matter because you need to connect only call it this meeting today. Suppose you don't understand the content of this document. You don't have to do this. Because what about I'm worried about those again who are not here? Coming in this document, but saying any area, like for instance, the sense that like plus medicine. They don't we call a program. You see as
ndiyafuna ke ndiphinde isikeni amthethe kule nto ilima lintsimi. Kwakukho kuqala ilaa nto yayikhona laa nto ekuthiwa siyazondla. Kwenzeke ntoni usiyazondla na? Because why this? Ibisi-accommodate, ibisinceda those who are in urban areas, kwezaa simolanyana gardens banazo. Department will speak out to isinike into ezazizeyiphuthezintoni izithole siyabesonika abantu balini ndiyafuna ke into yokuba what happened because andibanje ngayo beyitshekisayo.
Honorable members, wonderful deliberation to all of you. I think also department that can make that come to fruition. We appreciate that. You know, Honorable MEC, our emerging farmers are still lagging behind, yes, in terms of development. That is the reason you find that to Honorable Muslim and other members, honorable members, put more emphasis on farmer support is one of the key programs that we depend to. It worries when we find that a budget for farmer support at times even underspending, at times there's a convincing decrease around farmer support. We'd love you get Honorable MEC or SG to say something like that. Give us a relief in ensuring that farmers will be supported. Masibulele, there's one thing and the appreciate code, you know, though I may be failing to say, to understand who's going to benefit. There's the presentation MEC say something about park, there is a park shed. What the park shed means, is it in motion? Yes, my question is therefore, who's going to benefit on that? Do we have farmers that are going to benefit on this park shed in motion? Yes. I think the National Development Plan, when you get closer, put emphasis on the fact that agriculture, the Department of Agriculture, is one department that can create jobs up to 1 million, targeting 2030. It worries me, Chairperson, or worries the committee that if we look on land care activities, we find that we are dissatisfied. Would love to get that program of land care today to give us a detailed report. How are they going to service the people of this province in ensuring that the land care budget is of benefit in terms of job creation? A lot has been said by the honorable members. Nanzani area and to put emphasis, but the programming will tell us more of farmer education. It's a very serious program, that program of farmer education. If we don't educate our farmers more, in particular those that are in rural areas, so long deprivation will exist, because they need more capacitation. And this is the department that is responsible on doing that. Lastly, I don't want to dwell more, you know, if honorable members have covered a lot. Case of internship and graduates that are coming out of this institution, we still have a great challenge. They are loitering, majority of them around. I'm appealing to you, my department, that consider that. What can we do around that? We heard from the presentation that you depend in terms of the employment. We appreciate, we heard you. But what can we be doing? I love that we policy speech, what Ateta honorably and say we policy speech is going to target the youth. That surely the youth that is coming out of these colleges much more, because they can be gathered around and be given a project, nobody, farmer, whatsoever, to look on it. Then they utilize the skills that they have managed. So that is like a honorable MPC. I wish you can look on that. Honorable members, let's give them a chance. We can't be making a duplication here. Let's give them a chance to respond, then the department will just go recap summary, just straight to what they are going to do. As full mabali, lendo uthi ukuzoyenza sibone imifanekiso ngqondweni ukuze xa sihlangana ngaphambi sibe nodibana. Inkosi. Yes, honorable.
Just one question which I forgot. Honorable MEC, we have been bound ever since I came here. The resuscitation of we even went to the extent of saying, why don't we do what we call crop diversification, so that if this tree is not doing what we want, we must be able to diversify and give another crops, But now I'm hearing, CFO is saying there will be 50 million given to any plan, honorable MEC and the HOT, just to change the status, because we give 50 million, but before they financial year, our students must striking, there is no tea production, and government money is gone, and nobody know what to do. ECD must come in, private partnership must, any concrete plan that is going to be there before 50 million is given to Marco, so that we are able at least to make sure that taxpayers' money they are used, appropriately without being, given to whatever. So I'm not questioning that we must not rescue Mark, but is there any concrete plan that is put in place before we can do that, so that avoid this thing?
As much as the department is going to concentrate on no red up continue budgeting for the red hubs that we have, so that we give them unfledging support. It's one project that can move on to industry, development of industries in rural areas. Kusibone sekukhona ifactory ezikhulayo ezi-aligned to i-red hub. Ndiyayifuna loo nto uyibona because andifumananga i-budget that is going to be allocated to existing red hubs. They are too young to be left behind. They are too young. Capital that is used there in machinery is highly expensive for those projects to be left behind. Say something about that.
Thank you very much, I think I must support I must support your suggestion, Chair, that these programs are meant to answer some of the specific budget groups. And creating things that they have to say in a programmatic structure. If we speak about fencing, we say the money that we have is to cover 290 taxes in all districts.
Yes.
That is the money we have. If a district will fence 50 Ks, there is money to do that work. If a district is going to fence 100, from 290 something, there is money for that. So what we are trying to say, they will be sharing a fencing kilometer array of 290. I think we have to put that, that's the money we have. We can't do anything additional up until we reprioritize through adjustment. Is that we received 95 million additional last year. We don't have that money because it was meant for drought, and we indicated exactly what we are going to do about it. It is not there now. That's why we are finishing it through drilling of water, through boreholes and other things. The budget, unlike last year, because that amount is not budgeted. We were given, we are spending right on site. 1% referred to is 1% of jobs like this. Nationally, they are national priorities. But Treasury is in a position to say we are going to slice from your budget 1%. We are going to take it to fund the country's from them to augment that kind of situation. So that is the reality. It can't increase our budget, by so it will decrease it still. So the issue of Chapo, where we are now on a facilitation stage. I think program 8 will indicate. Those villages must be profiled. RP Amasim, Away 11, Abantu Banepi understanding. Upon Inko Supas Corner, a facilitation stage. So that when we visit Chapu to say this is the site agreed to be part of this, we are intending to put up a structure when it is completed to cost close to 48 million, something like that. That's where we are. Issue of custom bidding. I visited myself. That has been delivered by National Department of Land Reform and all. It's doing well. It's being refurbished. I was there. Feed was delivered by the department. Medicine, I was shown. Physically, I was on site to speak with the farmers there. As far as I remember, right in a well-built custom feed. The structure is being attended. Work on the challenge that December, but the department addressed that situation. It is there. And the number of cows or cattle that is taken inside there, they are able to say in comments we are planning land is registered when it is coming after 120 days, it's done, or after 60 days, it's not on as well. District might indicate, I know, but there are also new ones for Tambo or Amatole so on average, so that we are now delivering on site. When it comes to citrus issues of export, as far as I remember, there has never been in the past 2 years, if I'm right, a report of a export. I think the only challenge that I know is water allocation. There was water allocation summit, every corner, which some of our officials are using that privilege. Amanzi are allocated where small holder black farmers. I think that's what we need to follow up as a matter of urgency. South women officials at this conference, I think it was only 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. So I think that's what is going to be a challenge. Long term, GDP 2% contribution. Remember, leadership. Eastern Cape is sufficiently fertile. and have a better rate for, I must just say that. But the non-marketing distance farmers is a challenge. The issues of our land tenure system, the issues of ownership, the lack of off-take agreements has been a problem. And that's where we are venturing now as the department to say, through this new economic direction we're taking, we need to secure off-take. Remember, if you've got a community of communal farmers, all of them are subsistence in nature, fearless by it. Yeah, it can still be improved to make a commercial value. You can't contribute to GDP without taxation and registration through SARS. And in order for us to realize that, we need to go commercial. But how are you doing that without infrastructure set? Unendlela zokufetisha animals, handling facilities, and all of that kind of arrangement, which we are now targeting. But we can't do that alone. If, for instance, which is already in the platform commercial, exporting cattle to overseas countries, processing meat, classifying it, grading it, carcasses are known, the fattening of those animals are quite clear. We are saying our black farmers must enter that terrain. Hence, we are funding them in order to be in that same platform. And I think that is only the position that the national tax base will be increased in the sector to contribute in the department provincially through our provincial in-source revenues. Also, at national level, when the province is contributing to GDP part, actually of doing so, it is via this program that we are requesting that it be, and fortunately, it has been now funded by the provincial allocations. So, the non-bankability of our people. They cannot go to bank, they depend on state grants and state subsidies. So it must against this so that we liberate them, so that gradually they are taken away of the grant-driven or subsistence-driven system. So for a commercial farm, go to through your enterprise, you can sustain yourself without government. That is the logic. Once you're a farmer, you go to bank, you make your own issues, you arrange your own loan, you set this over a period of time, significantly infrastructure of doing certain things. But if we are going to have a repeated support, like waiting from subsistence to smallholder to commercial, which we believe in that scenario as we are speaking now. And I think that is what we believe is going to help us going forward. Honorable Zibula, we're in an agricultural sector leadership, we must understand some of the things are seasonal by nature. Only when we understand that we don't have hydroponics all year round. Adjust the temperature and fertilization of what we are trying to do. Unfortunately, there are drier areas. How can you guarantee jobs in such a situation? So we're in a province of the Eastern Cape. It's natural from where we are coming from. If we shall take and all of those things are things that we are saying we can change through skills, training, and knowledge that can be packaged and be given to farmers. Attrition rate is high. You can change that situation. We can change that and create more value. That's where jobs are coming. But the problem is we are moving from that to slow-based chairperson, and that's why our jobs must be measured with what we can do. Provide something that we cannot achieve, but these things are achievable, we cannot remember. But as long as we are smarter, we are quite clear, we are professional in our approach, we can train our farmers. Commodities. Remember, these are the people that have money. National growers in partnership with them now are exchanging rents because money capacity to do that, but we can't be absent in that. As a city partnership, we don't mean we take money at times and transfer to this commodity, but we are saying for black farmers component, we shall support 1, 2, 3. Exchanging rents and we national livestock improvement program also. That is what we believe partnerships are going to work. And I think seasonality and sustainability. Abanye bayakwazi ushiyeka beqeshiwe. Abanye bangene uba uvune aphi. Sizawukhe siphele aphi lesingavuni. That's why we are engaging them on this zone. We are still having some as we speak. We still buy a lot of templates. I still give so many. I know of honorable members who requested some last year. They received those and startup packs at the same time. We committed, for instance, in the last budget that anyone, at least from the members who request those, must be given each of our legislature. But there were so few last year, unfortunately, that we normally receive. So the return for investment, Honorable Zibula, I think I must also be with you. At times we are happy, at times we are not. I think we need to be truthful about it. For instance, you are told it's called Hashim, world class, usefulness, close to 20 capacities, but it's not working today. There's dispute of ownership. Say to you, I don't know what happened, but you have to arrange with him. What is happening in Ghana, where the throughput of 5 low facility as we are saying, though the equipment at Koyo was there before the red happened. About that. We also wanted to massify the work that was happening for sorghum processing. As far as I know, we are now attending to that milling plant because Sifuna na Yukifane nezinye area. Last year there was drought. Amasima wali, as far as I remember. Over the area layer, your magakulu it drier with lesser. So investing in the first year in different Brazilian is funny who test work. Cultivars, something like that, so that we know exactly whether the sorghum that we are going to plant will be needed by Amajuba or will be needed by SA brewery, something like that, so that what we need, we know the market of it. But I think now it's well positioned. And DRDAR is speaking, they will touch base of what is really happening and what are the plans. But as far as I know, the team that was appointed to look into the whole assessment of our milling plants in the province then attended that plant as well. And I think things will change this year. The issue, Chair, of cost of problem this time. That's where money is being made more than the asset delivered. The problem in Nobamba, we don't own these supplies. Everything that we do, German company to give you the specification you need and the quality of what you want, 10 ton steel. As in a lot of money from the projects that we are trying to deliver. These are the issues that we need local beneficiation. So that it means in South Africa, but unfortunately, you can wait for a component because of the type of the milling equipment that you have in your country. So really, as was are taken from the meager resources that we are having. Of course, monitoring and evaluation. Chairperson, I'm too close personal, I must indicate, because I've got an interest to see these plants operating at a high commercial level. Things of that nature. Once we deliver them, people get trained, people are understand the value chain, Amasimalinho, and so on. Those people must be able and creating that kind of a scenario in that situation. Therefore, a budget that will be annual won't make any sense, but a sliding scale of moving out of the site is what we think we need to infuse so that we can start doing that. Honorable Semwa, on the issue of stealing, this is a problem. But the problem is about there are new cultures our society today is having. Because always demand class. The criminals, am I right? Abantu bathe bawubona into okokuba urhulumente ngokuyancedisa ekulimele nabantu kwenzakalisa abo bantu baya ngomva emasimini. Unfortunately, we can't have cameras everywhere, including Millifield. Abawubapha emacaleni bawubapha phakathi awulibali wena umbona umhlaba kanti uphelile futhi ngaphakathi kuthathwa ngabantu aba siwuthenga kubo ushushu umbona apha. Unfortunately, we cannot brand that means. So I think it's the question really of being hard to talk about this or to improve ranging facilities, rangers, something like that. Uber, no investor in 122 million and then we don't take care of that. Uber field ranger, something like that. But yes, in production, remember, those primary cooperative chairpersons are the ones responsible for that particular rental. Because after being primary co-ops, they established a company called a secondary co-op, which is the owner of the assets. It's for the first time more black people will be having ownership of assets, like those tractors, way bridges, and so on. And after that, it's them who can sign off-take agreements and realize money they are making out of their fields. So but the tonnage is going down. The targets are not met. The off-take agreements works and 24,000 tons. Also was those richer as a target because we don't have a sense of what we are trying to do. So I think and we can still go on education and promotion of the value of those particular assets. So the quality assurance and the monitoring of small contractors. I totally agree with you. Now amanye anokuncokola ubona uba nyhani fertilizer kuba chairperson xa sisenza izinto sithi senzela urhulumente silibele into yoba silimela abantu bakuthi abanothatha inxaxheba uqoqosho lwelizwe. Uqonda uba befama ndilima nge-5,000 something ndingunocontract zafaka i-1,000 apha ukwenzela uba ndithenge ingxowa ibe ye-fertilizer noba iphele esithubeni uba leyo yokuqala ikhonto intle naleyo yokugqibela apho abantu bazawuhamba khona apha phakathi uba ngathi ikhonto engahambanga kakuhle. I think we need stricter kind of monitoring with that. Akona amasebenzi wabonileyo uba same soil, same area, not equal kind of quality of what we can see. Ibonile loo nto lafuna usibaphi. SG apha ngakajike nabo kakuhle. What 17 and what 27, I think we'll follow up Upano Regional Director so that we'll get lessons out of that. Honorable Shafi, I think long term we are up at those which are disputed now. The problem about bakuthi bebexhomekeke kwezi speculators vele ufike nje umuntu ayisize inkomo ifama edlelweni kuba ufuna imali futhi uzawunika atsho phofu ngokwakho be-prices ayithatha nge-6,000 awunanto unoyenza kosikala unoyibeka kuso. So we're trying to improve that situation so that SASBA are we servicing a proper grade, a proper classification, what kind of carcasses that we are expecting out of that, if which are to the market here to if we nyame lo to when the abantu start bangabuyi inkomo ezobalifuni kanti abantu bafuna ilamb uqine wena efushene seyidala okanye abantu bafunisela inkonyana kuyigqibisela neminyaka emihlanu ikutye kwi-medication kwi-feed and so on. All of those techniques are quite important during this period. Siyazi ndoba inyama esiprodusayo ithatha ixesha elingakanani edlelweni and so forth. And I think these are the issues that the department now is seized with, and I believe we are going to be on top of that. Tax shed is the last issue on my side. Tax shed yabantu base yabantu base amafama amnyama nale orange pha. I visited it. Ebelena tax shed yakwa ngo-1932. It's a wooden platform which has been disqualified by EU inspectors. When we visited there, abantu base-Europe bajonga le ndawo suka kwi-oranges babona uba nisasebenzisa into ezinemithi kwii-beds zenu and so on, and they said we don't want this. If it can't be changed, sawuzithatha ii-oranges kwenye ilizwe And we had to take a decision there and there, looking how much we are going to lose if EU can't be partners as buyers of our own citrus. Indeed, yiyo le nto projects ezivelayo ke bawuzivula. Xa uqale last year uyigqiba ngoJune, it strangled in 2 financial years. We want to finish it as early as this financial year to complete that 24 million. That's not for one project. So we funded it, 9 million as far as I know, and we are continuing to receive invoices and we are completing it this financial year. Uba Ubega, Klein Bosch, same thing, 32 million for that milk parlor there, which I believe now, 2016, 17, 18, our intention is to receive and hand over the keys to the people of that area. That's why it was born as project in the development.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Akukho nto esithile okushiyeke.
Kanti besawuveza nje phaa ku-honorable Shabuza as-projects
Ikhona ukurelax okuthile. Aba bantu barelaxile bancokola ndiyababona. When it comes to questioning, sizabuza ngoba ndiyabona bayothanda ukucinga abakwazi ukumamela.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was saying Honorable Shapley did ask. When I was making my presentation, I was kind of like making a high-level presentation. You know, I didn't get into details as to where is this project, where is the land, where this project is. However, these are listed from page 94 of our APP. For example, European Rain Irrigation Scheme, project-based design, municipality Amahlati, capital structure, resource of irrigation system, starting date 1/04/2016 up to 2019. Source of funding is CASP, budget, farmer support, etc. So they're all actually listed here, where the project is.
Let's just follow up. Oh. In those, thank you, I didn't take that. But in those, are there any for rural, deep rural? As it's called under when I say rural, thetha ngelali zakwenyani ezikungahambi neemoto kukhwela abantu khona apho kufuneka ukhwele ihashe uhambe ngesleyi uhambe ngekilo. This is what I'm trying to get across. Those people are forgotten, they are left. For instance, I wrote to say the response was the uso, they are born and never photos us. The department didn't whom they are working. So these are the things that I'm talking about. The deep rural areas. I understand you're doing well everywhere with this. I am there. That are forgotten. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm conscious, Honorable Shapley. Who comes there, let us say the people. I'm going to pay to Magan. I to talk on the fruits that are there, who be by. What can they say project pie? What will they be more? Sanyanzeleka abaninzi sazishiya imoto kwakunzima sehla intaba sotshona le ezantsi apho inanzi ilali khona xa sibaliselwa kuthi hayi ningcono nikwazi uba isidumbu xa sisilayisha imapha ihe silayishwa across the river atsho amafama ngalo msasekhaya ndizama ukuveza how rural that place where we went to zikhona zona but I agree with you zikhona zona esikwazi ufikelela kuzo but asikahleli kuzo zonke I do agree.
Yeah, sorry, Chair. I want to continue emphasizing this thing. I spoke to the MSC as well.
Yes. About us, now cannot be taken as though we don't go. I see here, for instance, it's just that I may not know which areas are those trying to even deep bush areas for purposes of agriculture to take place. So I'm trying to say it's a matter that we can follow up. The regional director there from Tambo, the issue of the dipping dam, we can conclude it today. I think what I remember, it's a question of taking your constructive criticism on that one, and knowing how deep is deep in the province of the Eastern Cape. But deep and good deep, but one thing.
I don't want to leave you as kids sitting on Kali up. Make a follow-up SG. Regional director in that area must take an action and ensuring that land responsibility are not in a good state. It has to be corrected. There should be a consideration of the number of issues, but the regional director of the area is central. Thank you, Honorable. Does it, honorable members, have come to an end?